I'd like to start off with, for our Jacksonville game on Sunday, many of y'all are very familiar with the Merry Christmas Project, which I'm very passionate about. Mary Kaplan and her family. We've done different things. Right now, they're at Walmart every weekend buying Christmas gifts for families in Macon, and we're going to try to contribute the same way we did last year. If you bring a new pair of socks to the game, you get them free. And we've already had an amazing contribution by Brad Russo and the men's soccer program. But it's a great, and a lot of the families in Macon, socks are a luxury, which you don't realize necessarily, but socks are luxuries for some families. So hopefully people will bring socks to our game and be able to help some people out in Macon.
Why are you so passionate about that cause?
Well, one, I was fortunate enough when Mary was alive that I would get invited to family dinners with Mike and Nancy, her mom and her dad, and then Jamie Kaplan, her aunt, and I would be invited. It was always Mexican, and Mary always ordered the same exact thing, and it had to be with a Coke, and I just got to spend time with her, and it was an unexpected passing, and I just feel like that what the Kaplan family's doing for Macon is incredible, and so I'm just trying to do our little part, what we can.
What did you like most about your team's performance on the road?
Georgia Tech and North Carolina A&T.
Yeah.
Well, one, I had never been to North Carolina A&T, but that is one of the hardest places to play that I've ever coached or played in. I don't care what level. It was a smaller gym. It was a lot of fans there. It was loud. They had a very high basketball IQ. They weren't for Mercer. So, but the environment was crazy, and I just felt like, we got off to an awful start. We got down 10-2, and I did something, and I've been coaching a long time. I've never done this in my career. I cleared the bench, put in our second group, and they brought us back into the game. And had I not done that, I don't know if we would have even come close to having a chance. But I just feel like in practice the last few days, when we scrimmage, we don't scrimmage each other a lot because we have male practice players. But that one particular day we did, and our second team beat our first team 12-2. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and watch this lack of effort by our first group. So I just cleared the bench, and they played with passion. And then our first group decided they were going to start playing. So that was a huge. It was. I took a chance, but I wasn't going to stand for that. But the way that everyone contributed, everyone literally. Coaches say it all the time. Everyone literally contributed to that game. And the fact that we were able to pull it out in the end when we had to get stops, and two, we had to make big shots, and we did both.
How does that kind of speak to the depth you have this year, and given that you put out a new starting lineup, 5 players that hadn't played together before, but also the rest of the team, same situation. What can you say about that?
Well, I think it's just our continual growth. I think I'm a broken record, but we just have to keep growing every day in practice. And not only that, we got a couple of kids out that all of a sudden at some point, which I do not know the answer to that question, I've got to start incorporating those 2 guys into this routine and rotation that I already have. So that's going to be another new challenge for us. But I was really happy that our quote-unquote second group went out there and kicked tail, honestly.
And I know in the win over Austin P, you were really proud because that was one of the first times you guys had gotten down and gotten back. Given that you guys did that again on the road against North Carolina A&T,
yeah.
I'm sure you wouldn't prefer it that way, but how would you like the bounce back ability of your team?
Well, it's interesting because I think about stuff a lot on the long bus rides home or on our days off, and or just all the time. And I was thinking about the Georgia Tech game because we played really, really, really well the first half, and we were only down 2 going into the locker room. And I'm not sure that this happened because I'm not a sports psychologist, but I'm trying to figure out stuff. I'm like, well, I wonder if they went in at halftime and we're kind of like, oh, we can play with them. What a relief. And then you kind of lose your mentality and you don't go out and play as hard this third quarter, which is what happened to us. I'm not sure that's what happened, but I feel like right now we play better when we're down and our backs are against the wall and we have to fight and scratch and claw. So, we haven't been up a lot, so I can't speak to that. But right now I'm proud of that because earlier in the year we got down, we were done. So I am proud of that.
In terms of that Georgia Tech game, just the experience of non-conference, big program, big arena, for all those things, especially for a couple of your players that haven't played in places like that before. How would you kind of rate that experience for everybody, and would you say those kind of games are helping your team?
You know, that is something I never, ever think about. For our players, I mean, maybe I should more, but, you know, I don't think about it because I've just done it. It doesn't faze me, so I don't really think how they might be thinking. Maybe I should think about that a little bit more. I guess what it does is, if and when we get to go to the NCAA tournament, that I can go back to those moments and talk to them about that. But I don't necessarily dwell on that a whole lot.
Have you looked much at Jacksonville yet?
Not 1 second. No, we got home very late Saturday night after the game, and we had yesterday off and today off, and I was doing some other recruiting type stuff. I wasn't just chilling, but I decided I watched our game from North Carolina A&T, but I decided to give myself 1 day of not watching the opponent, and that was yesterday. I did not watch the opponent. So.
The last thing I had, given your players that are out right now, what do you like about your team stepping into those roles and playing the way they are without some of your top?
Well, first of all, we don't talk about it. I mean, I say it out loud because I know you're curious a little bit, but we don't talk about it with our team. We don't talk about it in the circle. We don't say, I wonder when so and so's come. We don't even bring it up. Those guys are off on the side doing their rehab, doing their thing. And my focus has to be with who's on the court, who's at practice right now. And when that time comes, I've got to figure out how to seamlessly put them back into the system. Hopefully, there might be some movement this week, hopefully, because we got like 5, 6, 7 days of practice and no game. So it would be nice to have some sort of movement this week with one of them. But we'll have to just wait and see. Cross that bridge when I get there.
Gotcha.
All right. Thanks, guys.